We live in a world where freedom is sold in installments: a car, a home, a new device, a status symbol. Every purchase whispers the same promise: this will make you free. Yet beneath that illusion, something else happens. With every possession, a thread is tied, thin, almost invisible, until one day, the weight of our own comfort becomes a cage we built ourselves. It begins innocently. You buy something because you want it. Then you want to protect it. Then you start to fear losing it. And in that fear, a strange reversal occurs. You no longer own the thing owns you. Your peace depends on its survival. Your status depends on its shine. Your self-worth becomes measured not by who you are, but by what you hold. Jean-Paul Sartre once said, "Freedom is what you do with what's been done to you." But in modern times, freedom has been replaced with possession. Ownership masquerades as empowerment, when in truth, it is dependence wearing the mask of control. Imagine two men. The first, a wealthy executive. His days are filled with meetings, his nights haunted by market crashes, theft, failure, and the slow decay of the empire he built. He owns everything, yet sleeps like a prisoner. The second, a wanderer. No property, no savings, no titles. He owns nothing, yet walks the earth without fear, without loss, without chains. The first man is admired. The second is pitied. But in the quiet truth of existence, who is really free? The psychology of ownership is not about objects. It is about identity. When the mind latches on to possessions, it constructs a fragile sense of self that requires constant validation. Through attention, through admiration, through maintenance. You are only as valuable as what you own. So you spend your life accumulating, not wealth, but permission to exist. Yet freedom cannot coexist with fear, and fear is born from loss. The loss of status, of possessions, of image. The man who has nothing left to lose becomes untouchable. He cannot be manipulated through desire because he has detached himself from the illusion that happiness can be possessed. Our civilization glorifies ownership as progress, but perhaps what we call progress is merely the perfection of dependence, a system that teaches you to decorate your cage and call it a dream. And so the question remains, do you truly own your life, or has the pursuit of owning more quietly stolen it from you? Because in the end, the dangerous freedom Sartre spoke of belongs only to the one who owns nothing, the one who has reclaimed himself from the hunger of possession. Jean-Paul Sartre once said, "Man is condemned to be free." At first, it sounds liberating, almost heroic. But Sartre didn't mean it as comfort. He meant it as a curse. Because to be free, truly free, means there is no grand design guiding you, no destiny to blame, no divine script to follow. You are entirely, terrifyingly responsible for who you become. In Sartre's world, there is no pre-written essence. You are not born to fulfill a purpose. You are born empty. And everything you do, every decision you make, carves meaning into the void. You are the sculptor and the sculpture, both the creator and the clay. That's because you failed to create one. Most people can't live with that, so they flee, not by running away, but by hiding behind things that give them the illusion of purpose. They define themselves through possessions, careers, and relationships. They cling to identities handed to them by society: employee, parent, influencer, patriot, believer, because the thought of standing naked before the infinite possibilities of existence is too much to bear. Sartre called this flight from freedom bad faith. It's the quiet self-deception that convinces you that life's meaning comes from external validation, from money, recognition, or belonging. But deep down, bad faith is fear disguised as order. It's the desperate attempt to escape the truth that there is no external structure holding you in place, only the choices you make and the consequences that follow. In the modern world, this existential escape has evolved. We no longer just own physical things, we own identities. We build digital selves, fragments of our ideal image, to prove our worth to an invisible audience. Every post, every photo, every brand we attach ourselves to becomes an act of possession, a way of saying, "This is who I am." But it's not who we are. It's who we wish others to see. We curate our lives the way collectors display art, carefully arranged, strategically lit, stripped of imperfection. The result is a strange paradox. The more we build our image, the further we drift from our authentic self. We have traded our freedom for a performance, a digital version of bad faith. Sartre warned that the cost of this self-deception is authenticity. When your choices are guided by what is expected, not by what is true, you become an actor trapped in someone else's play. You no longer live, you imitate life. To own nothing in Sartre's sense is to strip away every illusion of safety, material, social, or psychological, until you are left with nothing but yourself. And that is where true freedom begins, in the silence after the noise, in the void after the masks fall. It is dangerous, yes, because to own nothing means to face everything, but it is also the only state in which a person can truly exist, unchained, undefined, unafraid. Sartre's message was not a rejection of the world, but a challenge to confront it without armor, to stand before life as it is and still choose meaning. That is the essence of being condemned to be free, the realization that the greatest prison is not the lack of possessions, it is the refusal to create yourself without them. There comes a moment, silent and uncelebrated, when everything you've used to define yourself begins to dissolve. The job title, the relationship, the possessions that gave your life shape, even the image you've curated in the eyes of others. And what remains is something both terrifying and pure, the raw, unfiltered awareness that you are utterly free. Sartre called this realization anguish. It's the dizzying vertigo that comes from standing before infinite possibility, with no map, no compass, and no excuse. It's the awareness that every step forward is a choice that could have been otherwise, that your life, every part of it, is built upon decisions that only you can justify. Freedom, once romanticized, becomes a weight pressing against the soul. Imagine a man who decides to disappear. He sells everything he owns, erases his digital presence, and walks away from the city he called home. No possessions, no followers, no expectations. At first, he feels a kind of relief, the lightness that comes when the noise of obligation fades. But then something begins to surface. Beneath the silence, he hears the faint echo of his own emptiness. Days pass. He has no one to impress, no algorithm to please, no mirror reflecting who he should be. And in that isolation, he encounters a truth most people spend their entire lives avoiding. Without the roles we play, we are strangers to ourselves. This is the hidden crisis of freedom. When all external anchors are gone, we are forced to meet the person who has been hiding behind them. And most people discover that they don't know who that is. Sartre believed this confrontation was inevitable. When there is no thing left to own, we must face the one thing that cannot be escaped: consciousness itself. It is here that freedom becomes a burden because it demands something unbearable: self-definition. You must decide who you are, not through what you have, but through what you choose. In the modern world, this existential weight has taken on a digital form. We live in an age where freedom is abundant, but direction is scarce. People can reinvent themselves endlessly, yet each reinvention feels hollow. The paradox is brutal. The more choices we have, the more meaningless each one becomes. Anxiety, burnout, and identity crises are not just symptoms of modern life. They are spiritual consequences of freedom ungrounded by purpose. We are drowning in possibilities without knowing what to believe in. Our lives are filled with abundance, but emptied of essence. That man who vanished represents us all in some way. Whether we admit it or not, we are all.
Socrates was one of the first to embody this dangerous kind of freedom. He owned almost nothing, questioned everything, and claimed that wisdom began with admitting ignorance. To the rulers of Athens, this was intolerable. His detachment from wealth, status, and even life itself exposed the fragility of those who clung to them. When offered a chance to live in exile, he refused. He drank the hemlock calmly, because a man who does not fear death cannot be controlled. Then came Diogenes, the mad philosopher of the streets. He lived in a barrel, owned a cloak, a staff, and nothing else. When Alexander the Great, the most powerful man in the world, asked if there was anything he could do for him, Diogenes simply replied, "Yes, step out of my sunlight." In that moment, Alexander, with his armies and his empires, realized that this man was freer than he could ever be. Power trembles before those it cannot seduce or frighten. This pattern repeats endlessly, from the desert monks who renounced material life to the whistleblowers of the digital age who risk everything to expose truth. Whether it's Diogenes, Buddha, or Snowden, their defiance lies not in destruction, but in detachment. They remind the world that freedom begins the moment you stop needing permission to exist. Modern society, despite its rhetoric of liberty, operates on the same principle of containment. The systems that govern us, political, economic, even social, require your participation to survive. You must keep buying, working, scrolling, performing. You must keep caring about things that keep you tethered. Attention is the new currency, and identity is its collateral. We are told to find meaning through accumulation, more possessions, more followers, more validation. Yet the system's greatest fear is not poverty or chaos, it's apathy, because the man who stops playing the game makes the game meaningless. Jean-Paul Sartre called this psychological conformity bad faith, the act of lying to oneself in order to fit within a system that defines your worth. It's the quiet surrender that happens when people trade authenticity for comfort. They become actors in a play they didn't write, reciting lines that keep them safe from truth. And so society builds invisible cages, mortgages disguised as dreams, careers disguised as purpose, and digital identities disguised as self-expression. Each one a chain forged by the fear of losing what we never truly owned. But then there are the few who walk away, those who realize that to own nothing is to owe nothing. They understand that every attachment is a potential leash, every possession a potential prison. These individuals don't fit within the economy of control. They cannot be bribed because they desire nothing, cannot be blackmailed because they hide nothing, and cannot be broken because they fear nothing. Such people terrify systems built on dependency. Their existence exposes the truth that control only works on those who need to be controlled. The man who no longer seeks approval or safety becomes immune to manipulation. His presence alone disrupts the hierarchy because he reveals a simple, devastating fact: the cage was never locked, only believed to be. Freedom, in its purest form, does not march or protest, it simply walks away. It withdraws consent, it refuses to participate. And when enough individuals do this, not out of anger but out of awareness, empires begin to crumble quietly from within. This is why society fears the free individual, because his detachment unmasks the illusion that everyone else lives under. He is a mirror, reflecting the truth that power has only ever existed where people agree to give it meaning. And so the paradox deepens. The freer you become, the more isolated you will be. But in that solitude lies the ultimate liberation, the power to live without fear, without need, without the weight of pretending. To be free is to become untouchable, and that is something no system, no ruler, no ideology can tolerate for long. Throughout history, there has always been a mysterious reverence for those who walk away from the world. The monk who abandons his possessions, the saint who renounces comfort, the philosopher who rebels against the norms, all share an invisible thread. They strip life down to its bare essence, confronting existence without armor or illusion. To the ordinary mind, this appears as madness or failure, yet to those who truly see, it is the beginning of power. Across every civilization, there emerges this archetype of the one who owns nothing. The Buddhist monk sits beneath a tree, unmoved by desire or loss. The Stoic philosopher walks through fire with composure, refusing to let external chaos dictate his inner peace. The Christian ascetic retreats to the desert, renouncing gold and fame to find the divine in silence. They all embody a truth that the modern world fears, that real strength does not come from accumulation, but from the courage to let go. In these spiritual traditions, detachment is not despair, it is clarity. To renounce the world is to see it as it truly is, transient, unstable, and filled with illusions that promise meaning but deliver dependence. The Buddha taught that clinging is the root of suffering. Marcus Aurelius reminded himself daily that everything he loves will vanish. Even Jesus, tempted by wealth and power, chose poverty and humility as the path to transcendence. Each of these figures, in their own way, understood what Sartre would later articulate in philosophical terms, that freedom begins where ownership ends. But there is a subtle difference between spiritual renunciation and Sartrean rebellion. The monk seeks peace, the existentialist seeks authorship. The monk releases desire to dissolve the self into something greater, while Sartre's free individual refuses to dissolve. He writes himself into being. Where the mystic escapes the game entirely, Sartre's man stays in it, but refuses to play by its rules. One seeks transcendence, the other authenticity. Both reject dependency. Both stand face to face with the void, unafraid. In this void is the deepest transformation occurs. When all external identities fall away, the wealth, the labels, the applause, what remains is not emptiness, but potential. It's the space where one can finally create from nothing. To own nothing is not to lose, it is to become infinite, because there are no boundaries left to defend. And yet society misunderstands this freedom. It worships the monk's serenity, but fears the rebel's defiance. Both reveal the same truth, but in different tones. The saint frightens kings because his peace cannot be purchased. The philosopher threatens power because his mind cannot be ruled. The monk, the saint, and the rebel are mirrors of the same liberation, each a rejection of the world's conditions, each a declaration that truth exists only in freedom from need. Imagine them walking parallel paths, the monk in silence, the philosopher in rebellion, the wanderer in solitude. None of them seek approval, none demand recognition. Their steps are slow, deliberate, echoing through history as a quiet defiance against everything that tries to define them. In a world obsessed with having, they remind us of the forgotten art of being. The monk's detachment, the Stoic's discipline, and the existentialist's defiance all converge on the same principle, that to be truly human, one must reclaim the power to define oneself. To own nothing is not nihilism, it is reclamation. It is freedom from the marketplace of souls that trades authenticity for acceptance. Those who walk this path are misunderstood because they refuse the language of possession. They are not driven by the desire to win, to own, or to prove. Their rebellion is inward, a quiet war against dependency, fear, and illusion. And so, the saint prays, the monk meditates, And the rebel writes, each in their own way, they tear down the walls that imprison the human spirit. For to own nothing is not to fall. It is to finally stand without crutches. It is to live unburdened, unconquered, and untamed.